Hello my dear friends and happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th is finally here and at last, the full trailer for the Kenobi series has dropped. The first teaser was epic, but this one was out of this world. With just 23 days until the show drops, this was exactly what we needed, and what a way to celebrate the most important day of the year for this franchise. Overall, it's been a pretty good day too. We had the fun Book of Boba Fett Disney Gallery which premiered earlier. We also had a bit of news, but let's not kid ourselves. The big highlight was the trailer. Now, I will preface this video by saying that we have a lot to cover. It's going to be like 2 videos in one because I want to cover the trailer breakdown and also some of the news. And as you're gonna see, my dear Mandalorians, it all connects. So without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So the trailer confirms so many of the recent leaks for the show, character appearances, plot points, and so on. Let's break it all down. So the trailer begins by giving us a different view of the planet of Daiyu, which is where Obi-Wan and Bail Organa go to rescue Leia. The Inquisitors are onto him as we see the 5th brother and his stormtroopers scanning the streets. Then we cut to earlier in the show on Tatooine, where the Grand Inquisitor, the 5th brother, and Revver, the 3rd sister, land to interrogate the locals. And that is where their search begins. I must admit guys, despite initial apprehension, the Grand Inquisitor looks pretty cool, much more intimidating and menacing. Yes, it's not perfect, it's not true to the original Padawan design, and he does look completely different to Rebels, but in my opinion, it's not as off-putting as I thought it might be. So we again hear Obi-Wan saying, "Stay hidden," with the added line, "or we will not survive." And that's a line that Making Star Wars say in their leaks is going to be spoken to Nari, the young Jedi who's being played by Benny Safdie. This is the character that seeks out Obi-Wan on Tatooine with hopes of restarting the Jedi Order, but of course, Obi-Wan refuses. He's got bigger fish to fry, and his priority is protecting Luke, and also in this series going off-world to save Leia. Then, after the same shot of Obi-Wan watching over Luke and the Last Homestead as we saw in the teaser trailer, Uncle Owen warns Obi-Wan to leave them alone. This is very consistent with the comics and of course later on in Episode 4 A New Hope. Owen doesn't want Kenobi anywhere near the boy, he doesn't want Luke to go down the same path as his father, and of course, Owen puts all the blame on Obi-Wan for the death of Anakin. Now, it's never made clear in any of the canon if Owen knows the truth about Anakin and how he became Darth Vader, but in his eyes, the Jedi is culpable for many misfortunes. So when Obi-Wan argues his case, saying when the time comes he must be trained, Owen throws Anakin in his face with one line,
"Like you trained his father?"
And can I just say guys, seeing Joel Edgerton as Owen again and hearing this brief bit of dialogue brought up so much prequel nostalgia, but I really want to see Bonnie Peace as Aunt Beru. And as for Ewan McGregor, it goes without saying that he looks and sounds incredible. He's so natural in this role. We then get more shots of Revver and the other Inquisitors, and it becomes very apparent just how much of a wanted man Obi-Wan is. We hear Revver say, "I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him," and then, as she says the word bounty hunter, we see Forlom, the iconic bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back, and if you remember my dear Mandalorians, this was a Star Wars Newsnet leak from a month ago, and it turns out they were spot on, and we can assume the Empire hired him to hunt down Kenobi, and this gives me great hope we're going to see other bounty hunters as well, possibly Zuckuss, who is Forlom's partner in crime and best friend, but who knows who else might appear in this series. The possibilities are endless and so exciting. We then get some awesome action scenes of Obi-Wan taking on his adversaries, stormtroopers, smugglers and locals, who were no doubt hired or simply wanted the bounty on his head. And in the next sequence, which is really quick, we also get a brief glimpse at Kumail Nanjiani's character, whose name is still unknown, but he's going to be a confidant of Bail Organa. And this droid is Leia's assistant droid, and her name is Lola. As we know from the leaks, she was heavily inspired by the robots in Batteries Not Included and Flubber. Now, one of the most jaw-dropping moments from this trailer is the one on Fortress Inquisitorius. We see Revver with a lightsaber out, and behind her is her backup, the Perch Troopers, and as many fans pointed out, this looks straight out of Jedi Fallen Order, which was a huge influence on the series, and as we know from the rumours, there are going to be some connections. And speaking of Purge Troopers and Fallen Order, you might have noticed a few differences with these Purge Troopers compared to the ones we've seen prior. Well, this was something that Making Star Wars revealed yesterday via Bespin Bulletin, when they stated that for the Kenobi series and the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, which comes out next year, the Purge Troopers have been given given a redesign. They will no longer have the paratrooper style helmets, but rather ones that are more akin to the shape of shore troopers like from Rogue One. These look epic nonetheless, and knowing how big of a role that Revver is going to play in this show as one of the focal Inquisitors, they are powerfully showing off her menacing and domineering presence in this trailer. And I must say, just from the look of some of these shots, this show is going to have much better cinematography than the Book of Boba Fett. Not only does it feel so much bigger and expansive, like the galaxy is huge, but it also feels true to the dark period of the galaxy that's being explored, a period of time where the Empire is arguably at the peak of its power, and hope is generally scarce. So I think Deborah Chow has captured that perfectly. Now, if you're familiar with the Vader comics and Jedi Fallen Order, then you probably know quite a bit about Perch Troopers, but for those of you who don't, let me break it all down. They were basically Imperial soldiers led by Vader and the Inquisitors during the reign of the Empire. They were trained as expendable death squads assigned to hunt down any surviving Jedi. Perch Troopers began after the termination of the cloning operation on Kamino, and the vast majority of the earliest Purge Troopers were indeed part of the last generation of clone troopers. However, over time, these were phased out and conscripted soldiers were trained as Purge Troopers. Again, we get more Revver and Fifth Brother action, and then we get to the climax of the trailer, where we start to see Vader being pieced together by his droids. He's coming out of the Bacta tank, and this is rumoured to take place at the end of episode 2. I literally got so many chills, guys. I love this. The trailer ends with the haunting sound of Vader's breath as Obi-Wan can't bear to look up and see what his former apprentice became. And if you missed my video the other day, we know from some of the leaks what Obi-Wan's reaction is going to be. Major spoiler warning, I'm about to divulge it. Obi-Wan is appalled and he looks at Vader and says, "Oh my goodness, what have they done to you? All of the humanity has been drained, metaphorically speaking, and also just looking at this suit, this shell of what he used to be, just fury, anger, pain, and loss." And let's be real, guys, it's not going to be easy for Obi-Wan to confront him again. But all in all, this trailer was epic, exactly what I wanted for May the 4th. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't see any lightsaber action, especially between Kenobi and Vader. And I was also hoping we'd get some sort of glimpse at the mask of Vader, but I suppose all of that is something that Deborah Chow wants to keep under wraps. That's going to be the big surprise when the show drops. I've watched this trailer 5 times now. I'm probably going to watch it all night long. I really can't express to you just how excited I am for this series. Just 23 days to go, and we have episodes 1 and 2 dropping on the same day. Now, as promised, my dear friends, we do have a little bit of news. We have these awesome new designs for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. But on top of this, Star Wars Newsnet have revealed that Flea, the bassist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, is indeed confirmed for this series. Now, I'm not sure what sort of role he's going to play. In my head, it'd be cool if he was like a musician on Dayu, a cantina musician, if you will. But I want to hear your thoughts of this in the comments down below. What did you make of the Kenobi trailer? Is it everything you wanted? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a huge welcome if you are. And if you want more videos that you can't find here on YouTube, then click the link down below. But once again, May the 4th be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.